3 verses on morning meditation by Adi Shankaracharya. Pratasmarami hridi samspuradatmatattvam Satchit sukham paramahamsagatim turiyam Yat swapna jagara sushuptamavaiti nityam Tad brahma nishkalamaham nacha bhuta sanghaha Pratar bhajami manasa vachasa magamyam Vacho vibhanti nikhila yadanugrahena Yanneti neti vachanair nigama avochuhu Tam deva deva majamachyutamahuragryam Pratarnamami tamasah paramarkavarnam Purnam sanatana padam purushottamakhyam Yasminnidam jagadasheshamasheshamurtau Rajvam bhujangamaiva pratibhasitam vai Rajvam bhujangamaiva pratibhasitam vai We'll start the session with the chanting of Omkara thrice. Take a comfortable posture. Eyes are gently closed. Inhale, and as you exhale, start the chanting of Omkara. Let us inhale. 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 Gently open the eyes. Sada Shiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. If we look at life, the way an individual grows up, or the way individualization happens, is over a period of time with layers and layers of conditionings. A fresh new life is born, and then we add an adjective or we add a label called name. It's just fresh life. Life has no form, no name, But for a transaction to take place, there is a need for a name, and a child is given a name. Because of the geography from which the parents came, the child is ascribed an ethnicity. Because of the color of the skin, one more adjective is added. And because of the religion in which the parents were born or following, a religion is ascribed. A denomination is ascribed. A community is labeled. The child grows up, and the modern society has so much more categorization that child is put in one more slot. The child itself, because of the ideas and concepts in the society, takes in a few more labels and puts on itself. So the layers and layers of labels, and if you really look at it, conditioning happens naturally as a person is growing up. The society encourages the child to have certain likes and dislikes. Not only identities, geography, heritage, lineage, ethnicity, so on. The society encourages the child to have a strong likes and dislikes. I like this, I do not like this, I like this, I dislike this. So growing up, it becomes stronger and stronger. And really, if you think, did I really naturally acquire any one of these labels or conditionings? It's not so much. Society happens to keep pasting labels and conditionings on oneself. So an individual is born. What do I mean by an individual is born? Individualization happens. It gets crystallized with all the likes and dislikes and habits and traits. A personality is formed. Now, the child totally identifies with that personality. Really speaking, in the society, it's not the individuals are interacting with each other. Really speaking, it is the personalities interacting with each other. The crystallized personality one personality interacts with another personality. You may ask a question, so what? Okay, a personality is formed. It's gets concretized and crystallized. It is there. But you see, that individual, whatever it has labeled, whatever it has acquired, whatever conditionings have happened, it's all limited. A strong identification with the personality makes the person to have a very strong sense of limitation. Because whatever attributes that we have identified with, they are all limited. Everything is limited. You ascribe an ethnicity, it is only for that particular geography or not. You do not have a sense that you belong to the world, you belong to the earth. You only belong to that particular community or denomination or a group. Limited. Then you identify with height. You call yourself tall or short or medium, whatsoever it is, yet a limitation label. So any label any attribute that we have identified with, if you observe, they all give you a sense of limitation. Whenever there is a sense of limitation, there's also a sense of inadequacy, a sense of incompleteness. A sense of incompleteness. You are never the whole. You are always small because the identities are always small. Identities are very, very limited. Particular religion, particular denomination, particular community, very particularized. Once one Swamiji wanted to have a conference here in the United States. So he said, all India conference in United States. So inviting all the people from Indian origin to have a big conference. So flyers were made, invitations were sent out, the information was given everywhere. So it was a big venue was fixed and all the arrangements were made. A big crowd was expected. So then finally on the day of the event, 500 people turned up. The expectation was 5,000. 500 people turned out. So then somebody said, oh, what happened? We did this. Somebody said, no, I will make it happen. We need a large gathering. It started on a wrong idea. We will make all Gujarati conference in United States. 5,000 people turned up. So our identities are always limited. We like to get limited somehow. Even though we feel a sense of inadequacy, the natural orientation is to go towards limited identities, limited identifications, which will always make you feel inadequate, never complete, never the whole. The vision of Vedanta, the vision of Ashtavakra is simple yet profound. The vision is that you are the whole. You are already complete. Your true nature is Purnatvam. You are adequate as you are. That is the whole vision. The whole of effort in Vedanta is to give up the limited identities one after the other. Thus, you come to realize, come to abide in, come to really see what you truly are, which is limitless, Purna and the whole. Sachidananda Atma. You are aware of that fact, and then your true nature is completeness itself. Completeness itself. So the whole sadhana in the Vedanta is Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana, to only shed all these false notions, false identities that we put on ourselves. Really speaking, these identifications, these identities, these conditionings may have some utility value in the world. It is required. They just have some utility values. But truly, it's not comforting. It's a big burden to keep carrying, to ascribe so many adjectives on oneself and carry it around. You never feel light. You never have a moment where you are free. There's no experience of freedom because all the time you're holding on and carrying such big burden of personality in your head. But every human being has some profound moments where one is not so identified with one's identities, And those moments are profound and very freeing. You look at a beautiful mountain. You're looking at Niagara. You're looking at Himalayas. There's no identification there about yourself. All the personality burdens that you are carrying, for just a brief moment, you have none of it. You accept yourself as you are, and you are accepting the nature which is in front of you as you are. You do not really feel, I am so and so person with this degree, this master's degree, with this position in the job. Being a grihastha, a married person, or a divorced person, or a father, mother, nothing. You have none of it in your head. You are just at the present moment looking at this profound scenery, or the beautiful Himalayas, or the Andes. And at that moment, you just, from somewhere, the joy just comes out. You are fine. You are peaceful. You are at the moment. You do not want to change anything there. You just see and accept how it is. The same experience is not in our living room. Why? Because we always want to change something. You look around in the drawing room, you want to keep this somewhere, change the decoration, change the car. Okay, maybe curtains look a little old. Maybe I want to redo it. Maybe I'll change the upholstery. Maybe I'll add something there. So always you want to change somewhere there in the dining hall or drawing room. But the same thing, you don't expect anything, the mountain to be anything different than what they are. That's why nature helps you connect with the basic person that you are. Helps you free yourself from the burden of the identities and the personality. But then, what we do, the human being, is not, after a few moments, some disturbance again comes up, we will take our smartphones to capture those mountains. And then we will say, oh, lighting is not fine. Arey, just few moments back, everything was just fine. Everything was perfect. You were enjoying it as it is, but now, oh, lighting is not fine. Maybe I should stand in that angle. Maybe I should be on this side. So what is really essentially capturing that on the smartphone? The present moment. You want to convert it into past to look at it in the future. Did you get it? But you never look at it. You never look at it. Simply sitting, thousands and hundreds of photos are sitting on the iCloud or Google Photos or just on the phone memory, and it runs out. That's it. You never even look at it again. So what has essentially happened? You missed the present moment, wanting to convert it into past for future use. A profound moment is lost. I could have had some more insights. Nothing is there. Nothing is there. The moment is lost. So these are the moments. What I mean to say is, in these profound moments where we do not have the burden of identity, peace, joy, completeness, satisfaction, they are there on their own. Where is it coming from? Is it coming, okay, you may think, it's coming from the mountain or the scenery or the Himalayas? No. At that moment, there is no desire, there is no want, there is no thought in the mind to change anything. There is no burden of personality. Personality has not interfered. There is joy. There is joy. And also, everybody is also blessed with one more universal experience of deep sleep, where one is not identified with anything, not even the body, nothing. In fact, you get sleep when you let go of all identifications. All identifications. That's the moment you go into the deep sleep. There is good sleep. And deep sleep always has a profound lesson for us. Why? Because you can be happy, you are peaceful, you are joyful without dependence on anything. I do not have anything, yet there is a profound sense of relaxation, peace and happiness. Swamiji, how do you say it? See, nobody wants to wake up. Deep sleep is so comforting, so nice. Everybody gets irritated to wake up. We hit snooze button 4-5 times. So that maybe let me just still have this continued experience of joy and happiness. Where is it coming from? World always is teaching you that you need something else for your happiness, for your joy. Come, buy this, you'll have happiness. Come, eat this, you'll have happiness. Come, do this, you'll have happiness. But the universal experience of deep sleep is totally opposite. There is no dependency on anyone, anything, yet I have this profound sense of satisfaction, joy, and peace of mind. So these are the insights, these are the moments from life where we can learn that it is possible to be truly happy and satisfied without the dependency on anything, without identities and identifications. And Vedanta says, all these identifications that you are having is all false. Your identity, you are identifying yourself with impermanent things, and they will only bring you sadness, complication, irritability, frustration into your life. You observe. Anything that you attach yourself with ultimately brings you sorrow, ultimately brings you frustration. Anything you are identified with. Anything you say, I possess this. I possess this. Really, you are not possessing it. That possession is possessing you, has possessed you. Has possessed you. Life works that way. We get tied so much to our possessions. Get tied so much, tied down. So, the entire sadhana in Vedanta is to let go of all these wrong identifications. And the technical word used for this is the neti neti prakriya. Atato adeshaha neti neti. The Upanishads say, I give you this advice, I give you this instruction to start disidentifying yourself with what you are not. I am not the phone. Phone is separate from me. I am not the water bottle. I am not the mic. All this we seem to know, but when it comes to body and mind, it's a bit of a challenge. It's a bit of a challenge. So, nididhyasana is to correct this orientation of body identification. Strong identification with the personality. Very strong identification with the personality. That strong identification will only make you complain and complain and complain in life. Very strong identification with likes and dislikes, desires, and the personality. Some people are never comfortable because they have some concept of what the ideal situation should be, ideal condition should be. So they are complaining, when it is not happening in the outer world, they are always complaining. So I see people in the East Coast, or in general in US, all the time people are talking about weather. As if there's no other topic for a conversation starter, it's the weather. So in winter, the person is complaining about cold. In summer, the person is complaining about the humidity and heat. And in the spring, person is complaining about pollen and allergy. So a person is never comfortable. What other season could be? So throughout the year, you're never comfortable because of what? Strong likes and dislikes. Strong like that this is what the ideal situation should be. The more you have it, more you are irritated, more you are frustrated in life. So Ashtavakra, and in this chapter, Janaka is showing us how I landed myself in fact, the word situation or anything will not do total justice. How did I gain this absolute comfort, absolute peace in just being? In just being. That's the discussion, that's the topic of this entire chapter. As I told you earlier, it is easy, and also in a way it's the most difficult thing. What is the most difficult thing? Is to just be. Is just be. Being is a very profound word expression also. That's why we are called human beings. We are not human doings. But some people are so workaholic or doingaholic. So constantly they want to do something or the other. Constantly want to do something or the other. There is a reason also why it happens. You see, in the vision of Vedanta, what I am seeking is myself. I am what I am seeking. I am already what I want. That is my true nature, completeness itself, Purnata. My true nature is that. It is not that after the study of Vedanta you will become Purnam. No, there is no becoming in Vedanta. Vedanta is all about being. You recognize, recognize. You are really having that insight, but then you have to recognize. It's as if we have missed it. There is a layer of ignorance which is covering our own true nature. I just have to put it out and recognize. The whole of Vedanta is recognition, recognition of my true nature. But the entire pursuits in the world, including the pursuit of dharma or pursuit of religion, is oriented in a different way. Whatever you want to gain is not yourself. It is something other than you, something different from you. So Shastra gives a model to understand how the whole pursuit of Vedanta is different, opposite to how we seek in the world. Even in Vedanta we use the expression of seeking, a seeker. But this seeking is entirely different. The seeking in the world is like this. Something is not with you, you have to work for it and then get it. Prapyam. I do not have it. I do not have a Lamborghini. I have to gain it. Prapyam. It is not with me. I have to gain it. Or I am in Milpitas. Salisbury is not here. I have to do something, travel and get it or reach it. Prapyam. Sanskrit expression. To be gained. I need to gain. So in order to gain something, I need to put efforts. I need to do something, then alone that comes to me. Or something is there, but I want something else, then I have to change it. Vikaryam. In order, I need something, I want to gain something, it's not with me. I want yogurt. So I need to, I have milk, I need to change it in order for it to become yogurt. So many times back, it seems a Westerner came to Rishikesh ashram. So he did not know how the yogurt happens because he was buying it from the supermarket. And then he saw a person in Rishikesh ashram making dahi or yogurt. So this our cook did not know good English, but this person asked, how did you put milk, how did it become so tight and yogurt? So he said, come, milk, curd, milk sleeps in the night and becomes curd in the morning. Milk sleeping is curd. He explained it that way. Meaning, something is not with you, you got to change it. You got to change it. Vikara. Vikara means change. Then only I gain it. I need something. I need to change it. Whether something is external or sometimes body also. I want a particular hairstyle. I need to change it. Then alone I gain it. Or samskaryam. I need something. For that I have some things to start with. But I need to add something to it or purify it. Then alone I will gain it. Samskaryam is, in a way, one translation would be purifying it. So I need to purify the iron ore to get the iron. I need to purify it. Or I just do not have something at all. I need to manufacture it. Utpadyam. I need to manufacture it. If you look at any pursuit in our worldly life, it will fit in one or the other category. You change something, or you travel somewhere to gain something, or you manufacture something, or you purify something, or you change the whole structure to gain something. Now, what we are seeking is ourselves. Technically, Atma Chaitanya, my own true nature. Is it prapyam? Is it somewhere else I travel and go there to gain it? No. Can it happen? Can it be that? No, I am present here. It's not that Atma is sitting in the Himalayas or the Ganges. I have to go gain it. No. This effort doesn't work. The worldly effort of traveling or putting some effort to reach it, the same effort, if you put it in Adhyatma or spirituality, won't work. It's not something other than you, or it's not first of all, it's not a vastu, a physical entity to be sitting somewhere to gain it. So no amount of pilgrimage will help you gain Atma. It may purify your mind. It may give you punyam. It will. But not gain Atma Chaitanya. So Shishya said, "Oh Gurudev, you seem to be teaching this and that. No, I need to go to holy places. That's how I will become enlightened. I will start going to holy places from now on. Will you give me permission for 1 year to travel in India and cover all the holy places and come back?" The master said, "Okay, tathastu, let it be so." Shishya went all around all pilgrimage spots, whatever he could in 1 year, and learnt it hard way. Guru wanted him to learn by experience, the hard way. So he went everywhere and comes back to the Guru. So Guru said, "How did you come back? You were supposed to be enlightened and free. Why did you come back to the ashram?" "I just came back. I learnt my lesson." So Guru asked, "What is that lesson that you learned?" The Shishya said, "The lesson is, if a donkey goes on a pilgrimage, it doesn't come back as a horse." So this kind of effort will give us punyam, no doubt, but not make you ajnani. Doesn't make you ajnani. Utpadyam, can we manufacture it? using some things, can we manufacture moksha or Atma? No, doesn't work. Doesn't work. Samskaryam. Many schools of thought, many schools of philosophies, they are very serious about the spiritual pursuit. They thought, okay, we cannot manufacture Atma, or we cannot manufacture Brahman, we cannot manufacture enlightenment, but we will take this sadhana very seriously. What is that? Samskaryam, purifying. We'll go on purifying the mind, body, senses, and enlightenment will dawn upon us. I'll become a jnani. Doesn't work. Doesn't work. Why? The body, the constituents of body, mind, senses is sattva, rajas, tamas. So it's a combination of all these things. There are impurities because of which this is there. No amount of purification of the body will only give you OCDs, that's all. So it will give you some OCD symptoms and practices. But that's not the way at all. Why? Because the Vedas are telling you are Nitya Shuddha Buddha Mukta Swarupaha. You are already pure. Nitya Shuddha. Bathing is for the body, not for the consciousness. So you are free, pure as you are. So all these efforts, which may give very good results in the world, but not applicable in the Vedanta. Why? Because our whole focus is in recognition of Atma Chaitanya, which is my own Swarupa, that I am that. I am that, and the whole effort is to recognize it and move away with all the wrong identifications. That's what Janaka is going to now say in these verses. We'll look at the first verse also once again. Janaka uvacha kaya kritya sahah purvam tato vagvistara sahah atachinta sahastasmat evamevahamaastitah. Janaka, recognizing the limitations of this kind of an approach, has now finally come to the sadhana of Nididhyasana, and he is sharing with his teacher Ashtavakra the way he arrived at himself. The way he arrived at himself. So we can use these verses as pointers for our own spiritual journey, for our own Adhyatma pursuit, in order to gain what Janaka gained. What he has gained is fulfillment. What he has gained is his own true nature. So Janaka says, I explained it yesterday, briefly, today also. First, I became indifferent towards physical actions. Kaya kritya, whatever is in kaya is the body. Kriti is action. Whatever actions done through the body, I first became indifferent to it. Now I am not going to use the worldly approach for the same Adhyatma pursuit. For Atma Vichara, it won't work. Doing one thing or the other will not work. It will only make us distracted. So I move away from it. The higher spiritual sadhana doesn't comprise of any dependency on any samagri, anything, any flowers, any fruits, nothing. All of them are required in the initial stages. Arurukshor muner yogam karma karana muchyate yoga rudhasya tasyaiva shamah karana muchyate. Bhagavad Gita, Shri Krishna. He says, one who aspires to climb up the tree called yoga, yoga here in the sense of jnanam. For him, the initial sadhana that person has to undertake is the karma karanam uchyate, karma yoga. Karma yoga includes pilgrimage, prayers, pujas, yajnas, all of them to be done with Ishwararpana buddhi. Yoga rudasya tasyaiva. For one who is at a certain level established himself in mental purity, in mastering oneself, in mastering one's mind and sense organs, for him, what is the sadhana prescribed? Shamah karanam uchyate. Meditation is the sadhana. Meditation meaning nididhyasana is the sadhana. Or to be in a place of Shravana Manana Nididhyasana alone is the sadhana once you are established in a certain level of purity of mind. So, the Nididhyasana has no dependency on anything. You just are. So, Janaka says, first I became indifferent with reference to physical actions. If somebody is doing something, I won't find mistake in it. Let them do. They're enjoying doing it, let them. So, do you also want, okay, somebody asks, we are doing all this, do you also want to come? No, I don't want to come. Then, do you find something is wrong in what we are doing? No, I do not find wrong in what you are doing. It suits you, you do it. But having done all of it, now I am in a place of silence and I am freeing up my time. Also, one more thing what it does is gives you a lot more time. Being indifferent, a step behind doing all the time. And having said that, see, one more question, usual satsang question. Swamiji, then you mean to say, can we be in a place where we do not do anything? No, it's not that. As I said, disidentification with the doer, the doership. And even when you do that, certain minimal actions which are required for the maintenance of the body will remain in our lives. We are not discussing that. That is default for everyone. And Janaka says, after that, I became disassociated, disidentified with vak, with speech also. Meaning discussion, constantly wanting to know one thing or the other, knowing one thing or the other. So, I am disassociated, indifferent towards that also. And to the very process of mechanical thinking, chinta. And when you really, even with small insights, if you can be in the present moment, you won't have chinta. Chinta is only for a person who is involved in past and future. A person in the present moment will have no chinta at all. In Kannada, there is an expression, chinte ildavrge santenallu nidde baratte. So I'll explain it. It's a very beautiful statement. One who does not have chinta, one who does not have the burden of worry, can even sleep in a farmer's market. In the middle of a big market, he can still sleep. So, to be dissociated even with mechanical thought. Through these methods, by doing this, I mean, I'm using the word doing, it's really making it happen, suit your spiritual life in such a way that you land up here. This enabled me to be in touch with myself. This enabled me to gain the completeness. That's what Janaka says. Moving further. Pritya bhavena shabdadir Pritya bhavena shabdadaihi. First I pronounce with the sandhi, now I am broken the sandhi, that's all. Adrishyattvena chatmanaha Vikshepaikagra hridaya एवमेवाहमास्थितः. Evameva aham astitah. In this way, indeed, in this manner, I got established in Atma Chaitanya, in my own true nature. My own true nature. To bring this point again, to give a contrast, so a regular person is seated in the personality, in the total identification with the personality. He is abiding in the personality. Ajnani is abiding in the self. That's the only simple difference between a jnani and ajnani, a wise person and a otherwise person. So now Janaka goes on to saying, he recognized pritya bhavena shabdadehi. Now I recognized that I am unattached towards even sounds. So sound, you bring in many things here. You can bring Shabda as Veda, as the words of the Veda, words of the Vedanta. Or even a lighter interpretation of it, music. You see, humanity today cannot even just be with themselves even for few moments. Whole of the youngsters, whole of the people are always with the earpods. And a background music is always going on, as if it's a Bollywood movie. Always. What does it really show? Okay, they're entertaining themselves. Can we look at it in another way? That even for a few moments, you cannot stay with your own thoughts. You cannot stay with your own thoughts. So you're jogging, or you're going for a run, you're walking. If there is no music, what is there? Your thoughts, you are listening to your own thoughts. A person cannot handle it. Wants a distraction. Music. Every distraction, every sense distraction is like keeping on putting plasters or some bandage on a very deep scar, a wound which requires a surgery. You keep on putting plasters or some small dressing, doesn't work. Vedanta is trying to solve the problem of life, fundamental problem of life, very fundamentally, not superficially, very, very fundamentally. So, Janaka says, Pritya bhavena shabdadehe. First, before, for the want of satisfaction, in order to complete myself, I used to go behind words, I used to go behind books, I used to be behind one class after another class, one satsang after another satsang, one video after another video, one lecture after another lecture. Ye dil mange more. There was a Pepsi commercial in India. This heart seeks more and more all the time. You see, there is a very, it's also an Indian conditioning probably, and that is there in other form, in other cultures also. There is a very old Purva Mimamsa tenet. Purva Mimamsa is a school of thought which was committed to only doing rituals. Rituals alone, nothing else. We don't even need God. We only need rituals. So what was one of their ideas and tenets? Adhikasya adhika palam. The more you do, more fruits you will get. The more rituals, more punyam or more phala out of the punya. And in a way it works in the world also. The more work you do, more hard work you put it, more work you put it, you may gain some monetary benefits or something like that. That works there, it's good there, no problem. But we bring the same orientation into Adhyatma Vichara also. More will give me more. Okay, listening to 5 hours lectures every day, it will probably give me more. I mean, I don't know about you, I used to do that. many years before, when I started my journey of Vedanta, I thought, wow, okay, I've freed up my day. Why not listen to 6 lectures today? So as to put it up a timetable for myself. Okay, morning, I will listen to Upanishad class of Pujya Swamiji. Then I will listen to one Taittiriya Upanishad class of Paramarthanandji. Then I will do this. Then I will go there. Then I will do this. More and more and more, because we want more result. Doesn't really work like that. That approach we cannot bring. Why? Because you're only feeding the mind of words and information and information and information. Never an occasion to dwell on it. Never an occasion to really absorb it. Never an occasion to assimilate in it. So it's like, those of you know to make gulab jamun or rasgulla. So what is it done? A dough is prepared and it is fried or it is boiled. And then it is to be soaked in sugar syrup. So if you soak it in sugar syrup, it absorbs all the sweetness and becomes extremely light and floats on top. But if you take that fried dough of jamun batter or cooked chena or rasgullas, if you keep on simply dipping into the sugar syrup, you take it, dip it and remove it. Take it, dip it and remove it. That's like listening one after the other, listening. And doesn't work. Dwell in it. Even if it is 2 hours or 3 hours or even 1 hour that you spend in a day, it's okay, it doesn't matter. But it should be deep, concentrated effort without any distraction, and dwell in it. It works. So Janaka says, even simply going behind shabdas, words, is also a distraction to me after a point. Having listened to the words of the Vedanta, now I just abide in myself. Titya bhavena shabdadehe adrishyatvena cha atmanaha. And he gives a very interesting reason why I saved myself of this orientation now to know the self. To know the self, I will know the self. He says, like if you want to know music, you really can chase in this way. More, I will do more practice, I will learn more kritis. I'll learn more compositions, so I know more and more and more music. Or I want to know about physics, I will read books after books and listen to the lectures of the different courses and courses. It may work there. But is Atma an object? A fundamental question to a Vedantin. How does it work in regular knowing? I am the knower, and there is an object to be known, and I use a means of knowledge in order to know that object. I want to know, I want to see this, I am the knower, I use a means of knowledge of my eyes in order to know this, in order to see this and know this. And then probably I can use my other extra senses and the mind to read a lot about it, what I have seen, what I have known now. But is Atma an object? For me to use a means of knowledge, a means of knowing in order to see it. It's not an object, it's the very nature of the subject. It's I, and it's my very own nature. So Vedanta Pramana, Veda Pramana doesn't work in this way. Then how does it work? How do I know myself? We keep using this expression in Vedanta also. I want to know myself. So how can I even know? When Atma is not even an object of perception. It is not an object of knowing at all. When it is not drishya, how does this means of knowledge or means of knowing, which is Ashtavakra Gita or Bhagavad Gita or Upanishads, how do they work? They help you recognize yourself by taking away ignorance. The role of Shastra is not make you know an unknown Atma. There is no unknown Atma. It's an unrecognized Atma. It works in shedding ignorance, thus enabling to really see what your true nature are, because you are that. You are that. So that's how it works. So Ashtavakra says, since now through all these scriptures I have recognized that Atma is not an object of perception or knowing, now I am freeing myself with obsession even to chase words, even to chase text after text or anything. And then you, if you want on a other note, on a generalized note, bring in all the other sounds of the world, where we constantly want to know that this sound or that sound or anything. So it is. And then Ashtavakra, Janaka says, Vikshepaihi, I have freed myself from all vikshepas, all distractions. I have freed my mind from all distractions. Thus, my focus is single pointed. And to explain it further, how do you free yourself from all distractions? This is where Vairagya walks in. You understand the futility of the things of the world. So what is that Vairagya? Vairagya is knowing and recognition that the things of the world have utility value, no doubt, but have no reality value. In reality, they can serve me no purpose in gaining myself or gaining happiness. But it will have utility value, they have their place, let it be. So, with the Vairagya, with this understanding of Viveka, I have freed myself of all distractions. Now, through this, I am just able to abide in myself. Evameva ahamastitaha. Evameva ahamastitaha. So, the idea, or what Janaka essentially says in these two verses, that I have decluttered even my spiritual life. I have decluttered, now its time has come to declutter even my spiritual life. Even there could be further distractions in my own spiritual life, I have decluttered and made it even more focused, and I am in a stage where I am just absorbing, appreciating, dwelling in all that I have known, all that I have gained through the scriptures. That is the Nididhyasana. Freedom from, this is the only culture, this is the only tradition, this is the only religion, this is the only dharma which says, finally, you have freedom from scriptures also. Think about it. Which other religion can say, you come to a point in your sadhana where you are freed from even scriptures, even the word, even the shabda, the most sacred thing in the Hindu Sanatana Dharma, the Vedas, yatra Veda, Aveda Bhavanti. That is the Atma, that is your true nature, where Vedas also become Aveda, means we are no more Vedas. The Vedas themselves are saying this. This is an expression from the Vedas only. That is the profundity of this Vedanta. That is the profundity of Upanishad, which promises freedom, and that freedom in its truest sense. Freedom from everything. Freedom from all burdens, freedom from all identifications. Absolute freedom, which is the nature of your self, Satchit Ananda Atma. You are freed from all of it the moment you disassociate, the moment you you have this viveka that you are not this, you are not this. That moment itself you are free. That moment itself you are free. So I'll end the discourse with a small story. There was a simple monk living in a very simple place. He had very minimal possessions. what he wanted to enable his life of learning and teaching. So once a burglar walks into his simple hut or a simple place. So the revered monk greets the burglar and says, "Look, I don't seem to have much, but then I have this coat with me, which may be of some use to you. So you have come to steal, you need not, I myself am going to give you." So he took out the coat and gave it to the burglar. The burglar also was very, very surprised what is happening. He just left. So after the burglar left, this monk wrote a poem. The burglar took away the coat and left behind the moon on my window. The coat was hung on the window. The coat was hung on the window. He gave it away to the burglar and he writes, "Burglar left behind moon for me at the window." The coat is the ignorance. So shed it out. Atma Chaitanya is self-shining, ever there. You come to recognize what you are. You come to recognize what you are. Om Tat Sat. I'll take a few questions, then we will have the meditation. I'll take the questions which are on the table now. If you want to ask anything also, you can stand up and ask so that I see you. Abide in oneself. Who is abiding in the self? Can Atma abide in Atma? See, you can ask it. Very logical question. But I tell you, if you pursue this line of enquiry, you will be in infinite loops. You will never be able to come out of it. You will never come out of it. So my one answer is, if you pursue this line of thought, so who is abiding in the self? Is Atma abiding in itself? So you put another I behind it, another I behind it, another person behind it, you will only be running in loops. That is one thing. Another way of looking at it is from the level of the mind. The mind is abiding in various impermanent things. You make the mind abide into its source, the consciousness. So that is what we mean by abiding in the self. Now again, self is not an object, self is not a place, self is not a thing at all for the mind to merge. So what does it mean? What does it mean? It simply means a mind is but a reflection of the self, which is always thinking that it is separate, it is different, it is individual. It is merging back into its source, merging into its source. So that's all what we mean by abiding in the self. Abiding in the self. The mind is always constantly abiding in distractions, and anatma, a mind now abides in the atma vastu. Atma vastu. Am I clear? If anybody wants further clarification, you are welcome to ask.
Can I understand this way? Can I say ahamkara, the I thought is abiding in I? Can I understand?
The I thought, yes, good way of looking at it. The I, which is having all the adjectives of I am the body, I am the self, I am the mind, I am the so and so person, I am so and so professional, I am a sannyasi, I am a guru, I am a this, I am that. All the adjectives, when the mind, when the I is dissociated with, that's what we mean by I abiding in itself. That abidance is spontaneous, that abidance will be natural. So it's that. Namaste Swamiji. My question is, what is the difference between doing things with Ishwararpana Buddhi and with indifference as mentioned by Janaka? If there is a difference, which one will bring Chitta Shuddhi or control over sense organs? Very nice. So, yes, they are different. Ishwararpana Buddhi, in the scheme of Karma Yoga Sadhana, I have a goal in mind still in Karma Yoga, at the level of Karma Yoga Sadhana. I have still a goal in mind. What is the goal? What is that I want? Why am I pursuing the sadhana of Karma Yoga? Is for Chitta Shuddhi. For the Chitta means mind, Shuddhi means purity. For the sake of purity of mind, I am undertaking the sadhana of Karma Yoga. There is an end in view. There is an end in view. Okay? Of Chitta Shuddhi. What is that in Chitta Shuddhi? Now, as Janaka mentions, to be doing things with an attitude of indifference is that there is not even an end in view, really speaking. What is the end in view? There is no end in view as Chitta Shuddhi. I am not doing the karma, I am not doing actions for the sake of Chitta Shuddhi even. In fact, I really do not have any goal, because a person in Nididhyasana has already recognized that I started my pursuit for moksha. Very soon I discover that I am free as I am. That freedom is my real nature. So the pursuit of moksha, you may say I am pursuing moksha, that also becomes aupacharika. How do I put aupacharika in English? Namesake. Even that becomes just a term that we are using, because I am the very nature of freedom. I am free as I am, and that is what I am trying to recognize. So there is no end in view such as Chitta Shuddhi when it comes to doing things without doership and with a sense of indifference. That's a different ball game altogether, and that can only be pursued if you have lived life with the Ishwararpana Buddhi, with the life of Karma Yoga. So one more step higher sadhana than even Karma Yoga. That is the Nididhyasana sadhana. Am I clear? Want further clarification? You can ask.
How does Dharma play in this?
How does Dharma play in it? So Dharma has been absorbed to such an extent by that person. Now that person is spontaneously dharmic. So Dharma also has served its purpose, meaning that the person's action is always in such a way that it doesn't cause hurt to himself or herself or to others. So Dharma also has been so well integrated into this sadhaka that it need not be pursued as some other pursuit at all. So that's how Dharma also has been, is a very much part of it. And how does a senior sadhaka or a sadhaka in higher sadhana, what's the relevance of Dharma for him? Nothing to be pursued separately, it has been integrated in his life itself. Yeah.
Even in Ishwararpana Buddhi, there need not be any goal. You don't have to fix any goal.
Chitta Shuddhi. As Karma Yoga by definitions, so by definitions Karma Yoga, what is that? You do Niyatam Kuru Karma, whatever is ordained to you, whatever is relevant to you, you do perform those actions. Do not become a phala hetu, meaning do not think yourself as the cause of giver of the phala, and do the action with Ishwararpana Buddhi and accept whatever result come into you. Accept all whatever results come to you. So you are not indifferent towards the result, you are accepting the result. There. Towards the karma, in the whole scheme of things, Ishvara, and why, meaning I'll point out why all these things is being done For Chitta Shuddhi. For the sake of Chitta Shuddhi. So now we are talking for a person who has gained certain level of Chitta Shuddhi. Who has gained Chitta Shuddhi and moving towards Nididhyasana. So that is the situation that we are discussing.
Indifference, can we take it as involvement? No
Uninvolvement.
No involvement.
Uninvolvement. Yeah. It is not sitting like a stone. Uninvolvement with reference to result, uninvolvement with reference to doership also. Yeah.
Swamiji, I want one more.
Yes, please.
So when you go beyond the Ishwar Buddhi Arpana for Karma Yoga and anything else, what is the final state that Janaka ji has reached? Is it indifference? Is it uninvolvement?
Uninvolvement, yeah. Uninvolvement.
So everything you do,
Mhm.
you feel nothing for it?
Yeah. You feel nothing in the sense you are not entangled with emotions, you are not entangled with anxieties, feverishness for the result or anything. You just are. Our actions are spontaneous, just like the flow of a river. So life becomes a very spontaneous flow for a person at this level of sadhana. At this level of sadhana.
That is called Sthita Prajna?
Yes, yeah. The Sthita Prajna is one who is experiencing the all full result of the Nididhyasana. Meaning a person who is established in the self. Sthita Prajna.
So even Janaka is already a Sthita Prajna.
Janaka is a Sthita Prajna. In the journey of Ashtavakra Gita, just first few chapters, Janaka raises a question and asks for certain pointers from his guru Ashtavakra, and this chapter onwards Janaka is sharing his Sthita Prajnata. He is just sharing in poems what it means to be free. From the perspective of Jivan Mukti, please elaborate on Vedanta's perspective on the following Mano Nashaha. Manonasha and Vasana, two things they have asked, Manonasha and Vasanakshaya. Manonasha is an expression you may find in some Vedanta text. Manaha means mind, Nasha means destruction, putting an end to the mind. But in Vedanta, word may be used, but you have to see what it is meaning, what is the contextual meaning of it, and what is the why are we using that word and what it means. So Nashaha means not destruction of the mind here in that sense. How can you destroy the mind? What do you mean by destroying the mind? Some people may pursue it, non-Vedantins, not in Vedanta. But Vedanta never advises this path of Mano Nashaha. So why the expression Mano Nashaha is used? Meaning merging the mind in its source. That is the end of the mind. Merging the mind in its source is end of the mind. Destruction is not, the very word is a little harsh. We expect destroying the mind means like sitting in some big meditation and then not thinking anything. A person is in such a way that there are no thoughts at all. No, it's not that. Merging the mind in its source. Disidentifying with the mind. This total disidentification with the mind is the Manonashaha. If I am not wrong, it must be an expression from Upadesha Sahasri of Adi Shankaracharya. Vasanakshaya. So, Vasana means the impressions, the latent impressions from the Purva Janma or Janmas before, or even whatever tendencies that you might have accumulated in this birth. So, Vasana Kshaya means to empty. Kshaya means to empty off. So, certain schools, certain teachers said one of the ways for moksha is Vasana Kshaya, to empty yourself of all tendencies. To empty yourself of all tendencies. Again, I come back to only one mantra of Vedanta. What it really means total disidentification with the tendency of the mind and the body. Total disidentification with the tendencies. That means what? Mind may have a tendency, but I am never going to come under it. I am not under the sway of it. It is handled. It may have its tendency, but it doesn't run my life. It's not the master. It's not in charge. The vasanas or tendencies don't guide my actions. My actions are spontaneous, without influence of anything. That's what is the meaning of vasanakshaya. We'll have a small meditation. I'll take more questions tomorrow. Take a simple, comfortable posture. Try to have the head, neck and the body in one straight line, unless you have some problems. Eyes are gently closed. Hands in chin mudra or clasped together, or whatever configuration is comforting. Pay attention to the breath. Let us chant Om thrice. Inhale. 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 Visualize yourself offering pranams and namaskarams to the Guru, whomsoever you consider as your Guru. Offer a mental pranams. Give this auto-suggestion to yourself. As I sit for this meditation, I am a nobody. I am putting aside all my labels and qualifications aside during this meditation. During this meditation, I have no duties, I have no role, I have no transactions. appreciate this fact. It is obvious, but sometimes I do not recognize. The body is. I'm looking at the body. There's nothing wrong with the body, let it be. But become aware of this fact that I am a witness to the body. You're witnessing. You see that the body is seated here on a chair. Whatever that you can look at is not you. It's something separate from you. All the sounds in the external world are there, and let it be. I'm just a witness to it. You're listening to the words of the Swami. The listening is happening. You're a witness to even the listening. You have nothing to do with it. You're just a witness. You are the witness even to this calm, peaceful moment. There's nothing to be done in order to just be a witness. You just are. Sat. Right now, the body is seated at rest. Mind has nothing big work, no big functions. It is just there. You are a witness of it all. You are the same witness even if the body is active. Even if there are complex thinkings, calculations, planning, you're still a witness to all of it. The mind wants to put some effort. During this meditation, there's no need of any efforts. It wants to focus. It wants to concentrate. No need of all of it. Just be. Let go of all efforts. Don't resist any sounds. No need to resist any thoughts. They come, they go. You're just a witness. असंगोहम 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 पुनः पुनः सच्चिदानन्दरूपोऽहम् अहमेवाहमव्ययः सच्चिदानन्दरूपोऽहम् अहमेवाहमव्ययः मनोबुद्ध्यहङ्कार चित्तानि नाहं न च श्रोत्रजिह्वे न च घ्राणनेत्रे न च व्योमभूमिर्न तेजो न वायुः चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं चिदानन्दरूपः Shivoham, Shivoham. You are complete as you are. There is no lack whatsoever. All lacking is at the body-mind level. As the witness of it all, you are free, you are complete. Become aware of the surroundings. The hall in which you are seated, the chair on which you are seated. Relax the fingers. Introduce gentle movement in the feet. Rub the palms together with a gentle smile. Apply the heat onto the eyelids. Slowly and gently, you may open the eyes. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramayah, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschit Dukkha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.